do we know? Okay, the CR gets a 2. Is it balanced? No. So if it's not, what do we need to do to it? Put a 3 by the CL. Everybody okay with the first one? All right, what can you tell me about the second one? Okay, it's decomposition. What else do we know? It's got what? It's got 3. So what do we do there? Yes, we decompose. How is it different from the first one? It's got 3 elements. So we need to find the one that it matches on the chart. So it's a metallic chlorate. All right, so what's it going to look like for a formula if it's a metallic chlorate? It's MClO3, and you get MCl plus O2, right? So if we have that, what are we going to wind up with over here? CO plus O2. Now, that's a compound. What do we always do in a compound? Switch the oxidation numbers. What's cobalt's oxidation number? 3. What's chlorine's? 1. We get a 3 there. Everybody okay with that? Yeah. So we have a 3, but we have how many O's there? Whoops, I was doing chlorines here. We have how many chlorines? 3, so we're good there. We have how many oxygens? 9. We have how many there? Any way to get 9? Nope. So we got to put what out here? A 2. So I made how many COs? 2. So I need to put a what here? A 2. I made how many chlorines? I've got how many chlorines here? 3 and 2 is 6. So we're good on that. If I get rid of some of these blue lines I have here. I have how many O's? 9. And I have 2 out here. So 9 times 2 is, how do I get 18? 9. Questions on that? All right. For the third one, what can you tell me? Still like decomposition. How many elements? 3. So what are we looking at? It's a metallic carbonate. So if it's a metallic carbonate, what's it match up with? MCO3, and it becomes MO plus CO2. All right, what goes in the M spot? Ag with O and then plus CO2. Checking our oxidation numbers, we have what for Ag? Ag is a 1, O is a 2. We bring our 2 down. CO2 is good. When I look to balance, what do you know? It's balanced. We don't have to do anything to it. All right, what can you tell me about the fourth one? How's it balanced? 2 Ags, 2 Ags, 1 C, 1 C. 1 plus 2 is 3 O's. Okay? All right, and the last one. All right, double replacement. So plus 1, minus 2, plus 1, minus 2. We're going to switch the Li and the H. We get Li with O, H with O, plus 1, minus 2, plus 1, minus 2. What happened? What's that tell us? That's right. It tells us it's not double displacement. It's got to be synthesis. So if I rewrite it, all right, and we check out our synthesis equation, all right, which one does it match under synthesis?
Metal oxide.
Metal oxide plus water. And what do we get when we put a metal oxide plus water? You get a base. What did we write down on our sheet for a base yesterday or Friday? MOH. So we're going to get MOH. So what am I going to put for M? Li with OH. Li has what? A 1. OH has a 1. What happens to the 1s? They cancel out. So they're gone. Is it balanced? No. How many Li's? 2. So I need to put a 2 here. I made how many O's? 1 plus 1 is 2. How many H's? How many H's? So it's balanced. Questions? Okay. That's fairly representative of the type you'll see on the test tomorrow. Yes, sir. don't have any eraser. Do you want to go on your pencil? I'm not throwing it. With this hand, I couldn't even come close to this point. All right, if we look at your homework answers.
Miss Well, can I get the homework paper from Friday? I'll look on the website and see them.
Odds are good I forgot to upload it. When I left, I probably just forgot to do it. I'm sorry.
I think they all are.
I was so busy trying to get tomorrow and Wednesday done, I just forgot Fridays. I've already uploaded Wednesday, but I probably the activity series. Did I not even load the video?
Yeah, I started watching the video, but then I was trying to find the homework.
Okay. The homework was just on predicting single, double, combustion, synthesis, and decomposition. All right, that's going to be the one we're doing today. Let's try that.
My sister's blonde.
Does anybody have success, Jada?
I like the blue sign better. I don't like it.
Conceal. That's it. All right. Those are the answers. See how you did. Now, this is the easy version of the test questions. Okay? None of the complicated synthesis or decomposition reactions are on this worksheet. Okay? All of the easy synthesis and decomposition are on this worksheet. Meaning there's no equations that require you to look at the reference table to synthesize or decompose. Okay? None of that is on here.
It's like, it doesn't matter what order they're in, as far as like switching the positives or switching the negatives.
Depends on what you mean by that. If you're just talking about,
Like number 3, I had NaCl first and then KF.
if you have this plus KF, that is fine. Okay, that's okay. But if you had like Cl and A, that would be wrong. Okay, because you can't put the negative element first. Okay. All right, have we checked them all? Can I turn? All right, there's 7 through 12. Are we done? All right, which ones do we need to work? Any? Or are we going to all of them?
5.
5?
And 6.
All right.
I guess 5 and 3.
All right, so tell me what 5 says.
MG. SO4. Plus AL. That's it.
Okay, so what kind of reaction is it?
Single.
So what's magnesium's oxidation number?
2.
Okay, and sulfate?
-2.
And aluminum.
3.
Okay, so who's switching?
Magnesium and aluminum.
Okay, so the biggest thing you have to recognize here is what is the polyatomic ion, or is there a polyatomic ion?
The SO4.
So I'm going to put the SO4 in parentheses. Now, because the 4 is part of the polyatomic ion, notice I put it in the parentheses. So Mg and Al are going to switch. So I'm going to put the Al with the SO4, and the 4 stays in the parentheses, and then the Mg is by itself. Right? So oxidation numbers on the compound, +3, -2. 2 comes down, 3 comes down. Mg by itself is at 1 to 7. No, so I don't put anything on it. All right? Get rid of all of these. All we need to do now is do what?
No, it's like I get to that point and then I do something and I miss it.
To balance?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay. How many sulfates?
3.
How many sulfates?
1.
We're going to put a 3. How many magnesiums did you make?
1.
What'd you put right there?
A 3.
So you made 3. Once you put that 3 there, you have to count it. Okay? So you made 3. So what are you going to put here?
3.
And how many aluminums is that?
2.
So you're going to put what here?
2.
Yep.
So is there a 1 in front of the second one?
Sure, you can put a 1 there if it makes you happy. I mean, I don't typically write the 1. So when I balance, I don't write it. But if it makes you happy to write the 1, I am never going to take off you writing that 1. It is A-okay. No, everything is true response. There is nothing on the test as multiple choice. Nothing.
Yeah.
The next two tests are all free response. And then there's the benchmark, which will be multiple choice. And I make out the benchmark. Six, sure. Tell me what 6 says. PB.
CR04.
CR04.
And it has a 2.
Okay. Plus.
NA3.
NA3.
PO4.
PO4. Okay. Did I put parentheses there or no?
Yeah, you did.
I did put the parentheses. Okay. Now, when you look at this, here's what trips people up. What's the oxidation number on CR04? It's a 2. Okay?
Yeah.
Is there 2 right there? So what happened to it?
It's
Canceled out. So what's the oxidation number on lead?
4.
So +4. Okay? If you caught that, then you should be okay with this equation. Did you catch that? That's usually what gets people right there.
I did that.
Okay? If you got that, you should be home free. So Na has a what oxidation number?
Wait, so doesn't that make the 2 on the CR04 4? Like, because you have to bring it down.
That should be,
A 4.
it was a 4, and this was a 2. So what happened to the 2 and the 4? They reduced. That's why it's now a 1 and a 2. Okay? Because they got reduced. We need the original oxidation numbers, though, for when we get to this side. That's why we were figuring that out.
So why wouldn't you, like, why wouldn't you bring the 4 and 2 down? Why would you keep it simplified?
Because we always simplify oxidation numbers. We never leave them in their upper states.
But if you put the 2 and the 4 on the other side, why do you keep
If
it on
we-
that side? Because you said you're using the 4 and the 2 as oxidation numbers. For
We need their original oxidation numbers so we know what they are on this side. But we're not going to leave the 4 and the 2 down here as subscripts. Once we crisscross them, we have to reduce if they're not in lowest terms. So they were a 2 and a 4, so we reduce them so that they are in lowest terms. It's like math class. Do you leave fractions in 2 and 4? 2 over 4? No, because your math teacher will take points off if they're not in lowest terms, right?
Yeah.
Same thing here. You have to write a compound in lowest terms. But we need the original oxidation number so that on the product side, we can use the original oxidation number to predict the products for crisscrossing purposes. Okay, that's the only reason we need it. We just need to know what it is. So Na has a 1 and phosphate has a -3. So who's switching? Yeah, Na and the PB. So we're going to put Na with, okay, and PB with. Now, the only numbers I brought across were the 4s that were part of the polyatomic ion, right? Everything else I left on the other side. Now I'm going to do what? Put in the oxidation numbers we figured out. So Na is a 1, CrO4 is a 2, that's a 4, and that's a 3. So the 3 comes down, the 4 comes down, the 2 comes down, and the 1 comes down. Now, can I reduce the 2 and the 1? Can I reduce the 3 and the 4? So I don't reduce over on that side. I could only reduce over here, so I had to. And now I'm ready to balance. All right, who do I want to balance first? Okay, how many CrO4s? How many there? So I'm going to make 2. I mean, how many?
Oh, NA?
Yeah, 4. Can I get 4? Okay, so pick something else. Na didn't work for us. Or no, we were doing CrO4. Pick something different. Okay, I made PO4s. I made PO4s. So I'm going to put a what? Okay, I made how many NAs? Can I make 12? Okay, how many CrO4s did I make? Can I make 6? What do I put? How many leads did I make? How many leads? We're good. All right, what else?
Wait, can you?
Fire.
What else? No? All right. Can we finish the activity series so we can practice the rest of class? All right. So we'll let this percolate in our brains over the weekend, right? All right. So find your notes. We're just going to review what you wrote down. You don't need to write it again. You do need your blue chart, though. Yeah, we did it on Friday. All right, so on the video Friday, we talked about the activity series, right? Now, we said the activity series tells us the order in which elements react. Okay? The order in which elements react. So, there are two ways to read the chart. So if we look at the chart, we said we could read the chart using arrows. Okay? So, if we look at the chart, oops, I erased my H here. All right? If we look at the chart, and you can write this on your chart also. Okay, you wrote it on the chart? Okay. So, if you look at the chart, we can read the arrow, which is cold water. We can read the arrow, which is gas of water. We can read the arrow, which is an acid, or we can read the arrow, which is oxygen. But do all equations have those four things in them? No. So the second rule we talked about was, if you don't have one of those three things, you can read the chart based on whichever element is above the other. The only catch is, the element that's above has to be alone or by itself. So we started some examples. Whoops. On Friday. And we did some things like this. So we looked at zinc plus water. Is water as a liquid one of those arrows? Water is a liquid. Is it one of the arrows? Yeah. So we looked here. And water as a liquid was this arrow. Right there. So is zinc in that range? No. If zinc is not in that range, what did we write as an answer? We wrote no reaction. All right. So for this one, we had oxygen. Oxygen was this arrow. Much longer arrow this time for oxygen, right? So a lot more metals react with oxygen. So 10 was right here. So if it's in that range, what would we say? We said yes, it does react, right? So if you said yes, you went about it just like you did your homework. What kind of reaction was this on Friday? Was it single, double, decomposition, combustion, or synthesis? Yes, you were right over there, Sailor. Synthesis, okay? So if it's synthesis, what do you do if you have an element plus an element? Put them together. So we said SNO. And this is one that had more than one oxidation number. So what I tell you you could do on the test if it had more than one oxidation number. You could pick the one you wanted. And I think we picked +4. All right, but I said you could pick either. So if you had +4, you'd have a 2 and a 4. And what would we have to do if you had a 2 and a 4, Caroline? You'd have to reduce, okay? So you would say SNO2. If you were one of the people who said, no, I wanted to use the 2, and you had 2 and 2, they would just cancel out, and you would have that, okay? You could choose. Now, what if we had this equation? What's HCl? It's an acid. So that one would be this arrow right here. Is copper in that range? Copper's down here. No. So you would say no reaction. All right. Now, this one we jumped over on Friday. So let's go back to it. Mg plus water is a gas. Now, I jumped over it because it's an oddball equation. And it's going to trip people up. Okay? First of all, it's a metal plus water. Now, when you look at it, it falls in what range? Falls in the gas because water is steam, is this right here. Is Mg in that range?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So you have to predict. Now, the reason I jumped over this, what kind of reaction is this? It's single displacement. And the way I've taught you to single displace, you're going to get the wrong answer. Find your single displacement on your blue chart. Find your single displacement on the blue chart. Find the one that says metal plus water. I'm going to show you how to do it right, and I'm going to show you how you're going to do it wrong. Now, if you do it the way I've shown you, you're going to say, oh, its oxidation number is +2. It's +1. It's -1. Who are you going to switch? Magnesium and who? Yep, and you're going to get Mg with O and plus hydrogen. And then you're going to remember, oh, I got a compound here. +2, -2, what's going to happen? And then you're going to say, that's an element, so I got to do what? Exactly. Now, the only problem is that's the wrong answer. Okay? Now, find your single displacement, your metal plus water. Tell me what it says for metal plus water. Can you tell me? Yields MOH plus H2. Okay? Did I get the right answer? No. The only way to get the right answer with this one, you remember how I told you to write water? You can write it as HOH, and you can double or single displacement the way I showed you. Otherwise, the easiest way to get the right answer is to use that trusty blue sheet. Okay? Because you're going to get magnesium with hydroxide plus hydrogen. And then you can put in your +2 and your -1 and bring your 2 down and get the right answer. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong answer. Now, the only time this will ever create a problem is when you have a metal plus water. Okay? And there's no way for me to teach it anyway but to tell you to memorize it. Okay? It sneaks up and bites people all the time. That's just one that you have to memorize. It's the only one you have to memorize. Or you got to look it up on your blue sheet. Okay?
We don't have to memorize?
Nope. You can look it up on your blue sheet every day of the week. Because what I tell you about those blue sheets, you get it every time you take a test. The only time I won't give it to you are the people who have to make up the one on types. They cannot have it when they do the types quiz because y'all didn't have it. And there's a couple outliers out there who still have to make that up. And there's a couple of those on the practice sheet. All right. So if we look at these two, we were working on these when the bell rang, and we need to do a couple more. So what makes these different from the ones we just went over? They don't have what in them? They don't have anything with the arrows. There's no water. There's no acid. There's no oxygen. Okay? So how are we going to read these if there's nothing with an arrow? Okay. Who's by itself in this first one? Okay. This one is by itself. Okay? So it must be above the PB. Now, how did I know it has to be above PB? Mainly because we did it Friday. Okay? If you read the rule we wrote down, it has to be above the one it's displacing. How do I know CD is displacing PB? They're both what? They're both positive. Okay? So, if we flip back in our chart, CD is there. PB is there. Is CD above PB in the chart? Yes. Okay. So you would just single displace and put CD, then O3, and then PB. Now, to do one we didn't do Friday. How is this one different? Well, somebody tell me K's oxidation number. All right, what's iodine? Okay, what's chlorine? Okay, so who has to be above who this time? Cl must be above I. Okay, so look at your charts and tell me if Cl is above I.
I mean, okay, question. She's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is that where we look?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then CO.
Yes.
She
is.
Where is she?
Because.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm
that's
confused. I looked at it too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
He's at the very top, right there. Right?
Yeah, that.
Is Cl above I? Yes? Okay. So, what's the product? What are my products? You okay over there? Well, all right, I got a question. Is it single displacement? How do you know? Test is tomorrow, and I have a question. Is it compound plus an element? So yes. Okay. So what do we get? KCl plus I. All right. What oxidation number? What oxidation number? What happens to it? And what do I put here? All right. Is it balanced? No. So I'm going to put what here? I'm going to put what here? Questions? Think you can try a couple?
Try. I mean, I can try.
I mean, I can try.
Let's see.
Might not do it right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't. Yeah, there it is. I knew I had some in here somewhere. There. All right. You try that.
Can you tell me what my problem means? Because the ones I've actually next to, I don't know what happens. I can write it, and then I can faster it.
I did. I was in that didn't.
He's the only calculator there for me.
I know. For mine. Oh, it's not like that.
All right. And this one, you missed a subscript. That one doesn't have a 3 there, which is what's going to mess that one up. This has a +3 and a -1. So that's why that was jacked up. This one, you put the 2 there, which gave you 12, and I gave you 14 here. You got 38. So you should have had 19 there. But you have here. I don't know why you put an X there.
Oh, I did.
Okay, so that should be right. So I don't know why you have an X there. This one, you have these subscripts here. I would start with like the 7 and the 5. See how they have 3s right there? Those are going to be harder to balance than, let's say, this 5 and that 7. Okay, so then go from there. So how many SBs do you have? So make 21 SBs. Okay, and then how many MNs did you make? That's 105. Okay, so you need 105 here. You need 15. So we put 15 there. And then you made 15 MNs. How many MNs are there? Okay, and see how I started with the polyatomic ion that had the biggest numbers? Try that and see if that makes life easier.
Because I don't know. I can't write it, but then I'm not.
Yeah. All right, does nickel plus water work? Point nickel and cold water out for me on that chart. Cold water. Here, show me nickel.
So what do you do
Pull
first?
nickel out of your pocket, I drop it in there and tell me what happens.
What do you do first? Would you look on the chart?
Yes.
With whatever they have? Or
Yes.
do you determine the type?
I would figure out if it occurs first. Because if the answer is no, you don't need to know the type, you don't need to know oxidation numbers, you don't need to know anything, because there's no point in predicting it if the answer is no. If the answer is yes, then go to type and oxidation numbers and the rest of it. Okay, because if the answer is no, you're done. No, other than you need to know if it's a liquid, if it's water. Beyond that, it means nothing. Annette had a rough day last night. Annette, you just struggling over there. I mean, I realize you're a mean girl today, but does that mean mean girls don't do any work? You a character or something? You're tired. We're all tired, but I don't want to be suicidal when I grade tests Tuesday night, so come on, let's do some work.
Might be.
I might be suicidal, I understand. Yeah, that's correct. You gotta figure, hey, guys, when you look at the symbols mean nothing. The only symbols you need to know is water. Is it a liquid or a gas? The rest of them are junk. Okay, you don't need to know anything about those symbols. Okay? So all of you are like Elijah and Carolina keep asking me about the symbols. The rest of you are going to ask me the same thing. It means nothing. Okay? Just focus on the elements. They're there. They're always going to be there. Yes. If it's yes, because you don't have anything in the arrows, do you need to figure out first of all if the element by itself is going to displace the other one? So you're going to need to know the oxidation numbers to know which one is going to displace the other one. Yes. Yes, except that you put the two negatives together. Where? You pointed AU or CD?
CD.
Yes. Yes, except CD has a +2 and you didn't express the oxidation.
I didn't get there yet.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
That's all I do.
Yes.
If you pick it.
See, I wasn't supposed to do this.
Cancel out, that's all, yes. All right, who else?
That's my sister.
We're all negative ones.
How do I know what number two is? Like,
Because I told you 5 clear brown iguanas are all -1. When you look them up, it's got all those numbers listed. Y'all are using the -1. Okay, it's not going to change. They're all -1s.
I was gonna be a mom.
So that's just something I have to
You
know.
know, the
Yes.
mom, you have that mom.
I know, something else with that brain.
I'm
It's got a lot of space.
Am I doing this right?
It's got a lot of space. Chemistry's PE for brain cells.
I did.
We're stretching the muscle.
Don't be.
Yes.
Yes? Alright, what's wrong?
I saw a meme where a moth said pass the
Do we just
glue,
solve it how we?
and a moth had a.
If the answer is yes, yes, you do. So you're looking here, is CD above the one that's by itself. So CD is by itself,
Ah, crap.
okay,
Okay.
it's gonna displace the other one's fine, which is PD. CD above PD. Yeah, once you answer yes, you're
It's
just
just
gonna say that
the
you
choice
don't.
not hard.
Okay, that's water's gas.
Yeah, just
The water's gas is this area. Is nickel above that.
Came out a few days ago, but.
Is nickel is that range in that area? Then the answer is no, you don't have to do anything, you just write no reaction and you're done. You're not gonna solve it at all. You only solve it like we've always solved it if the answer is yes. Okay? So like, VR has a -1, and you look, the correct section.
Yes.
So when you look at VR, VR has a -1,
Oh, Max. Do we have? Yes.
okay? K has a +1. I9
Yeah, I
has
thought somebody said, hey.
Alright, so this time the VR is an iron switch, right? Who's by itself?
Oh, I love the laughing foxes.
Each of these who's by itself.
You can stop moving.
We have,
Before switching.
yes, before switching.
Move the hair.
The VR, VR has to be above the one it's switching with. So VR has to be above the one it's switching with.
Just gotta move the
So
hair.
VR above the I.
Move it for.
So
I
I said,
if I can.
Is VR above I? So yes, okay? So since you said yes,
Oh, no.
so we place it the way you always have. Okay? Yep,
When you say which one displaces the other one, would VR be displacing I, like I look for this over that?
Yes.
Over that?
VR is by itself. The one that's by itself has to be above the one that's displacing. What's wrong, Lola?
I was gonna do the manual thing, but I didn't feel like I needed. You should have. Okay. Oh my God.
Okay. Do you have water?
Yeah,
Do you have water as a gas? Do you have oxygen? There you go. So you gotta find oxygen. It's supposed to be our oxygen.
Are we gonna like get that?
There you go on the kneecap.
I'll put answers for the shapes, -1. So -1. K is.
You going right there.
No, I was talking about.
Let me see. You better see it.
Alright, so, which you will have VR,
I was on first on my
which
way.
has to be above switching with. Okay, VR above I. Here, VR above I.
Don't put the headband on, please don't.
You answer yes.
What?
You predict the problem.
Here's it.
Right?
Okay, well, after we.
Just like what we've been doing. If you answer no, you write no reaction. Alright? Alright!
It's well, after we figure out how to displace the other thing.
That was good.
You finished
If it gets stuck.
Yeah.
No reaction.
Oh.
So what is it here when it says replace hydrogen with acid?
Don't you do
Because
it,
I see the little
You say no this twice.
Do it.
and I see it has HCl, which is acid.
Oh my God.
So do I pick like, do I see if it's on the little line?
Yeah.
Number 30.
So is AU in the space with Q Here. You write no reaction.
That's what it should have came.
So the next one is the same reaction. It's CD in this range.
Miss Curry will be right up.
All right.
Like that means inappropriate.
All right. Are we okay with those two?
Wait, what?
Now, for those of us who are yapping about homecoming, y'all better behave on Wednesday for Colonel Patial. I've told him how wonderful y'all are, and y'all better not make me look bad. Now, if you look at the two I wrote no reaction for, are there any questions about those two? All right. Number two, you have no water, you have no acid, you have no oxygen. Your only option here is to look up oxidation numbers. So -1, +1, -1. Who has to be above who?
BR has to be above K.
BR has to be above which one? Above I.
Wait.
Not K, because K is positive.
Oh.
Okay, the other two are negative.
Okay.
Okay, so is BR above the I? Yes. So if you answer yes, then it works just like everything in your homework did last week. So what would we do? We'd single displace like always, right? So we get K with who? K with BR. And then I will be by itself. So I gets what subscript? And +1, -1, those cancel out. And to balance it, you're going to come back and put a 2 here and a 2 there. All right, next one.
You said it's fine if you write it the other way, right?
Sure, if you wrote I2 plus KBR, it's fine. All right, the fourth one. Will it occur? You've got to look up HCl. All right, the acid range. Whoops. Right there. Nope, still not there. There we go. I found one. All right, here, acid range. It's CD right there in this range. So if CD is in that range, what do we know? It'll occur. So is this a double displacement, single displacement? What do I have? Single displacement. So CD has a +2, +1, -1. What's going to happen? CD with Cl, and then H will be by itself. H is by itself, so it gets a what? +2, -1. Bring my 2 down. So, is it balanced?
No.
So I need a 2 there. Yep.
How come the CO is like, oh, never mind.
So you can put the, like, CD and CL and H can be flipped.
Was that one you had to look up?
It's just straight single displacement.
Was that one you had to look up?
It was straight single displacement. +2, +1, -1. I switched those two. The only one you have to look up is a metal plus water. All right, and the last one. Do I have water? Do I have an acid? Do I have oxygen? So who has to be above who? +2, +2, -1. Who has to be above who? All right, is MG above CO? Yep, it is. So MG's by itself. So it's going to be now with NO3, and CO is going to be by itself. +2, -1, bring my 2 down. And when I finish all of that, what happens?
They're balanced.
They're balanced. I don't even have to balance this one.
So the MG and the CO would.
So I flip the MG and the CO
Oh.
because it's straight single displacement. That's what happens when you rob somebody's nightgown. All right. Let's talk review. All right. Let me have 3 lovely people who can hand out paper. That, let me have you 2, and I don't care which one of y'all. Any of the 3. I said, I don't care which one. Now, notice which 3 people are out of their chairs, and don't forget to put papers on their desks.
Oh, I didn't care about this today. My bad, sure.
How what? 48? Depends on what project you're talking about.
It's a psychology project, and we have to
Interview them based on their what?
on his theory.
No. I got this.
I don't care.
Thank you.
Okay.
You pissed me off. I can play some off music.
I was gonna make that
Here you go. Thank you.
It sucks because we recorded the whole time we were just laughing.
All right, did everybody get 3 papers?
Yes.
Now, the one that is the front side only that starts with strontium chloride is just an extra, okay? That one we would typically have done on Friday in class if I was not trying to make sure we got to the test before I have to be out tomorrow and Friday, okay? Tomorrow Wednesday. I'm rushing the week along. The 2 review sheets are the other 2, okay? But rather than me just keeping it since I don't need it, I gave it to y'all. The 2 review sheets are the front and back, and then the activity series, okay? Now, the only thing that's on the test that's not on those 2 review sheets are types of reactions, which I didn't feel the need to put on there at this point. Y'all ought to know the types and the symbols. So if you look at those 2 review sheets, you're going to see that there's predicting products. You're going to see if you flip it over that there's balancing, and you're going to see that there's word equations. And then the half sheet is the activity series. All of that is there, okay? You do not. I'm not grading any of it, okay? Everything that I'm giving you is just that. Review for the what? Test. I am right now scanning the answers to upload to my Dropbox so that shortly I can do what with them? Upload them to the website. Okay? I have one more to scan, which I just did. Now, if you're going to waste my time, we're going to move on to stoichiometry. I don't think most of us want to do that right now. That's not what I said. Now, did everybody get 3 pieces of paper? Now, you pick the one that you want to start with. If you think you need more activity series, then start there. If you were like, no, I got that, Ms. Wall, then pick something else. Start with the review sheet that has predicting types. Yes, sir. If you wish to use one of your all passes, sir. Take the vest. Vest on the back side of the door. All right. Who has a question?
I have a question on something in the book.
I'll say, what book?
It's
Over there, I think. Yeah. This one's a no because you didn't bring down. All right, who else has questions?
She's definitely
Are
gonna
you
get
being
it.
late? Whenever it's
Just give me like-
so you can look up RSS connection. Because I've been doing that the whole time.
Oh, six.
Oh, my legs are there.
Don't have down there. I was more concerned about you mocking someone.
Okay. You don't have, did I have it right now? Is it balanced already?
No, please pull out just the smallest.
I don't know what to do with that.
You're like,
Who has a question for me? Give me a chance to ask.
not everyone's participating in
Who
our
picked
area.
Texas? That stereotype of Texas.
What are y'all supposed to be doing over there? Homecoming is not it. Yep,
You said you didn't, you don't mind.
they will. Just scan them so that I can upload them very shortly. It does not matter to me. I was ready for HOH or H2O.
Okay.
We're ready either way. I'm very flexible about that. Here, you want me to upload them now?
This one.
Yeah.
May I use your phone?
Yep.
Chris.
Hey, you got the best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you write for the assets, do you put parentheses over here for it?
You can. That's an asset. So you're looking to see if 10 is in the range of HCL. The answer is yes. And you single displace it just like you would anything else. You're looking to switch SCM and H. So did you answer yes?
Yes, but this is H is a positive. CL's a positive.
There, he's first. Let's see.
One more time for good luck.
MG.
Yep.
And then I put it over.
Yep.
And then, yes, but plus 1. So would that be -2?
3.
That's right. That is,
Yeah. All right. The answer is up with it. Nobody has a question for me? Tad ignored here. You got one? Huh? Bring that leaves you with one, by the way.
How many will I have?
That leaves you with two.
How many do we get?
3 for the semester.
What happens if we don't use it?
Then you get bonus points at the end of the semester on your last test grade.
When you have Roman numerals, does that tell you the position for the first element?
Yes.
So I would look at
On the back of that door. Sure. Anybody have questions?
I really don't want to be suicidal when I grade these things to tonight.
Looks right.
Five should be right. Four is no, it's not single displacement, it's synthesis. Because it's another like synthesis water. Two compounds. So if it's two compounds, you would have looked at it and probably predicted double displacement. And so you would have said double displacement, and you've gotten the same two products. And once you got the same two products, so you wrote it just counting. Forgot the O. And so you would have said it was double displacement, and so you got the same thing that you started with, which would have said, no, it's not double displacement. It's because you would have initially thought double and got the same two products. That would have said, no, it's not double, it's got to be single. Synthesis. Question? Anybody? Question?
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, I thought you said take question. Take competition. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but H.
Anybody else? Question? Use any explanation there, except should have either 2 or 4. Here, and here will be a 2 or 4. And you can choose whichever one you want there. Very, yes. Yes. Who else? We get Almaj and all the other. No. Somebody besides Almaj and Caroline really ought to think about asking some questions in there. That 7 is no, that's not right. Reversal, okay. The sodium plus water is right there, so yeah, that's gonna react. Still an acid, so that's an acid right there. So everything goes in that range, so you can put yes there. You gotta know that, that's what you're supposed to have up there in that range. H2SO4. Don't forget our 4 acids we're supposed to know for the test tomorrow. This might pop out tomorrow. Clearly not all 4, but you might see 1 or 2 between now and. All right, what's your question? It's okay. Why can't you have all 1s? I didn't say the balance was wrong. I said the equation was wrong.
now.
Let's get it right now.
Yes. All right, who else has a question? One and two are double displacement. Two positives. That's plus one and minus one. Plus one, minus three. H is first, it's always plus one. Same thing here. That's the one that I taught this morning, it's metal plus water. Look it up on your reference table. Otherwise, they're fine. I'm setting this down. All right. Who else has a question? Y'all seem warmed up now. Anybody else? Today, what about you? Anything? Remember, can't ask Martin on the test. Carl's not here. I mean, he's here, but he can't offer anything. He's just here. He's a bot. He can't.
Don't worry. I already told him that.
He will not be able to answer questions. Yeah. Hydrogen is plus one. And then SO4 is probably like that.
You change the
So what?
You change.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, who else? Yeah. Yeah? Which one's negative? Because F is negative, who else is negative? Yes. Yes. So F has to be above the one that's just like it, so F has to be above the other. Well, you will only be comparing these because they're all negatives.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll only be comparing these because they're metals. Okay? Who else? Okay, let me answer Caroline's question for y'all on the test. I don't pay any attention to the order of the questions or what equations I put in one order. So if you happen to get 3 single displacement equations in a row to run on the test, do not think that you're doing something wrong or I'm trying to trick you, okay? I just write equations and put them down on a piece of paper, all right? I don't know if I've done that tomorrow. If you find that I have, do not think that it's a plot to trip you up, okay? It's entirely possible, all right? If I look at that, yes, yes. I will tell you that's the one I showed you this morning. It's metal plus water. Look at the blue sheet.
That's not another.
It's a metal plus water. I told you. It's the one you need to memorize. Okay, so that's the acid, right?
Oh.
So look at the arrow that's got the acid. So look at the metal. Is it in that range? You got PT. PT in the range of my fingers. So you write no reaction, and you're done. All right, and then you got HCl again. So again, in the range of my fingers, SN in the range of my fingers. So you write predict. Question? see. Because you got a 2 right there. Now, that happens to you on the test, that's the first thing you need to do. Go back and double check your oxidation numbers and see if you forgot one canceled, something and you missed it. It's the easiest thing to do to fix it. Don't just keep looking at it going, I'm balanced it wrong. Double check all your oxidation numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. You've done a nice question for it, Ron.
How do you?
Okay, I don't even. I just don't know.
Yep.
Just want to make sure Tuesday, Thursday, this week, yeah.
Yes, my dear.
So wrap the parentheses around.
You can. It won't help you, but you can.
I break the 2 here and realize that that's moving.
Yes, but for the purposes of balancing, you're gonna have to balance it out in parentheses. You count your O's and H's separately. Because there's no OH on the other side to balance it with.
But can't you just say that there's 2 here and then there's 2?
So that'd be 4.
So
Yes. Yes.
And then there's 2.
Yes. You can't, but my point is, some people like to write this as HOH here, try to balance it that way, but you can't because in that book we have All right, keep in mind that I will not be here tomorrow, Wednesday. Do not forget your what on Wednesday? Headphones, earbuds, something. Otherwise, you're gonna have, well, there's about 4 of you are testing. You're gonna have somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 computers playing my voice in different locations in the room. It gets really irritating. So bring your headphones or earbuds so that you do not have to listen to me in stereo at different points in videos. Okay?
Is there a one of those metals and waters in the test? You can't tell us anything.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the study guide. So what should I do to make sure I realize that that's it? Like look for a metal every single time?
Well, when you see plus water, you need to check to see if it's a metal plus water.
We can use our reference tape.
You get to use your reference tape.
Wait, can you tell me? Did I do this?
Yes.
It was like they're saying.
Me and my group of friends were talking about that, we were like, what is